Donald Trump ever tries to stop someone from talking about him on television, and it's me. Usually when he wants somebody to stop talking about him, he pays them $130,000. I think the guy who fathered Eric and Don Jr. would know how to handle jokes, but I guess not. The article says news of these calls spread around the corridors of power in Washington. Wow, what a plot twist. He wanted me to do it for nothing. I wonder what it was specifically that sparked his Trumper tantrum. I wonder what it was he found so objectionable. I don't know. Maybe it was the time I had Stormy Daniels look at a plate of carrots and to size them up, and she picked the little one.
What's more fragile than a porcelain vase? According to Jimmy Kimmel, it might just be the Trump family ego. His latest joke about Don Jr.'s desperate bid for his dad's approval didn't just sting. It triggered a Truth Social meltdown from Trump Sr. himself. But why did such a simple punchline cut so deep? Stick around as we unpack the joke heard around the internet and reveal how it exposed cracks in the Trump family armor. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So, did you click the subscribe button? Great, thank you so much. Now, back to the video.
Seeing what it was, but according to the story, in 2018, Donald Trump, who was at that time president of the United States, was so upset about my jokes that I made about him. I had like 80 texts when I woke up sending me this article from Rolling Stone. It says, Trump White House pressured Disney to censor Jimmy Kimmel. Now, Disney is the company that owns ABC, our network, and Jimmy Kimmel is me, so obviously I was interested in him. He directed his staffers at the White House to call Disney to tell them to rein me in. The report says at least 2 calls were made from the Trump White House to, quote, convey the president's anger regarding Kimmel's monologue.
How can one joke make a billionaire family squirm? Jimmy Kimmel seems to have mastered the art. On live TV, Kimmel aimed his latest roast at Don Jr., using the Trump scion's recent courtroom testimony as fuel for a joke that landed harder than anyone expected.
I don't know. Maybe it was one of the nicknames I was going through, like Tanny Soprano, Nostradamus, Emperor Palpatine Hands, Mar-a-Lardo, Liger Woods, QAnon, Dictator Tot. Give me, I only have 100 more, okay? King Tutankhamun, the Hydroxy Horror Picture Show, Pumpkin the Corn Humper, Grab Ass Grandpa, Orange Julius Caesar, Caludicrous, Flabios, Freddy Krueger, the Tandalorian.
Kimmel mocked Don Jr.'s awkward attempts to justify himself on the stand, but the real kicker came when Kimmel zeroed in on something much deeper: Don Jr.'s relentless and painfully obvious need for his father's approval. It wasn't your average late-night jab. It was a direct hit to the Trump family's most vulnerable spot. What made the joke sting wasn't just what he said, but what it revealed. The Trumps, for all their bluster about loyalty and strength, have crafted an image of a tight-knit, invincible family. Kimmel took a sledgehammer to that image by pointing out the cracks, especially the uneasy father-son relationship between Donald Trump Sr. and his firstborn. The joke hinted at a family dynamic where worth is measured less by love and more by whether you've served the patriarch's ambitions well enough. It wasn't just funny, it was uncomfortably accurate, and the audience ate it up.
What a blowhard. He's a blowhard and a snowflake. He's a blowflake is what he is. He should change the hats to say Make America Wine Again, Mawa, because when you think of all the people I regularly make fun of, it's a lot of people. The only 2 who've tried to stop me are Donald Trump and Marjorie Taylor Greene. Quid pro comb-over, Uncle Scam, Fibonacci, the One Terminator, Chocolate Mussolini, YMCA Hole, the recount of Monte Cristo, Daddy Bone Spurs, or George Washington, who actually called the cops on me. I made fun of OJ 1,000 times. He hasn't tried to kill me once. And this guy, Donald Trump, all he does is he makes fun of disabled journalists.
Kimmel's delivery also sold it. His timing was just slow enough to let the weight of the punchline settle before moving on, and his expression? Pure mockery, tinged with just the right amount of disbelief. The crowd's reaction was a mix of gasps and laughter, making it clear they knew Kimmel wasn't just talking about one joke. He was disarming the entire Trump narrative. Social media lit up immediately after. Don Jr. looking for dad's approval harder than Linus looking for the great pumpkin, one tweet read. Memes flooded Instagram, each one layering more humor onto Kimmel's initial commentary.
You know what? Maybe this is why Donald and Melania sleep in separate bedrooms. She was laughing too hard at my monologue at night. But really, he insults his opponents, his friends, his family. But if I point out that he's so fat they renamed the plane Air Force Wonder Bread, I'm the bad guy all of a sudden? Joking aside, this is a blatant abuse of power. I wonder if Fox News, they're always screaming about censoring comedians. Will they defend me on this? I doubt it. We have a First Amendment right that Americans are a hell of a lot braver than Donald Trump.
The joke wasn't just alive, it was thriving. And then came the real proof that Kimmel hit a nerve, the panicked, all-caps reaction from Trump Sr. on Truth Social. If Don Jr. squirmed during Kimmel's punchline, Trump Sr.'s meltdown online confirmed it. Kimmel managed to turn a quick monologue bit into something that sent the whole Trump family scrambling, and the fallout was just getting started. If you thought Jimmy Kimmel's joke was sharp, Trump Sr.'s response cranked up the absurdity. Barely hours after the joke aired, Donald Trump took to his favorite echo chamber, Truth Social, and fired off an all-caps tirade. Jimmy Kimmel is a total loser. Nobody cares about him. Desperate for ratings, he raged, sprinkling in enough exclamation points to make you wonder if his keyboard held on for dear life. He then accused Kimmel of being obsessed with him because, of course, nothing says I don't care like a meltdown on your own social media platform. Here's the kicker, though. The rant didn't just feel excessive, it actually proved Kimmel's joke landed exactly where it was aimed. The whole bit about Trump Jr.'s dependency on his dad's approval, Trump's explosive overreaction made it seem less like comedy and more like an accidental documentary about the family's insecurities. The irony is, Donald Trump prides himself on branding, big, strong, winning. Yet, here he was, showing the world just how dangerously thin his skin is, over a joke he could have easily ignored. This wasn't the first time the Trump clan let a small jab spiral into a full-blown spectacle of outrage. Remember when Trump once ranted for days about a Broadway cast politely addressing Mike Pence during a curtain call? Or when he lost his cool over the infamous balloon of him as a diaper-wearing baby? His reactions always seem less about defending himself and more about confirming every critique lobbied his way. If Kimmel's joke painted the Trumps as fragile, Trump's rant supplied the high-definition proof. What's even funnier is how this tantrum only amplified the joke. Kimmel roasted Don Jr., but Trump Sr.'s rant widened the stage, making it a meme-ready family affair. Social media doubled down, with users remixing Kimmel's crack and Trump's rant into viral gold. At this point, it's not just about what the Trumps are reacting to, it's what they're revealing. Is the family's image of tough invincibility just a glossy illusion? If so, their reactions might be the cracks that finally let the truth seep through. Jimmy Kimmel's joke wasn't just a funny late-night moment. It was a spotlight on the vulnerabilities within the Trump family. By turning Donald Trump Jr.'s courtroom testimony into a punchline, Kimmel reflected something deeper, the performative strength the family is so desperate to maintain. And when Trump Sr. fired back with his rant, it only solidified the point. The image of control might just be a well-rehearsed act. So, is the power of comedy reshaping how we view public figures? Maybe the real laughs come from what these performances are hiding. Either way, Kimmel's roast proved one thing: no joke is ever just a joke.